And so this conversation today, I've run across a few items in the last week or so that made me kind of think and made me pose this question. And I want to pose it to you all. Can hip hop help save what we know as the Black church? Can hip hop, rap, the genre of music, can it help save the Black church? And I know many of you are thinking, what does he mean by saving the Black church? My Black church is thriving. My Black church it gives me pleasure. My Black church is packed every Sunday. So what can he mean by saving the Black church? Only salvation can save the church. But that's not what I mean. I'm going to tell you what I mean in just a second. But first, I need you to subscribe right now. If it's your first time with us, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You'll love the content that we put forth going forward. Make sure you hit the notification bell to get each and every conversation. If you're a regular listener, God, I appreciate you. You know how we do. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe, share, like, and comment. Need your interaction, need your conversations. Y'all are funny in the comments, and so I appreciate it. And so I saw, you can kind of see this background picture. If any of you saw the wonderful documentary by Dr. Skip Gates, the PBS special called The Black Church. I'm sure many of you saw it. If you clicked on to listen to this video, you probably did see it because somehow you're interested in the Black church. So you probably did see it. And I thought it was a wonderful documentary. I love documentaries. It went from coast to coast of America. It's a 2-part series. You can find it on PBS and or Amazon Prime, I think, one of the two. YouTube. I saw it on YouTube. So, but 2-part series that went from coast to coast, north and south of America, walking through the Black experience, the Black spiritual experience in America and how it came about and how it's touching souls, and just great history on the Pentecostal, on the Method AME end of it, on the Baptist end, and how many denominations came about. It was very beautiful, and you can learn so much from it. You watch it. But one of the greater takeaways from that documentary for me, and I always think about longevity, I always think about long term. What stood out to me is that most of the folks that Skip talked to were older, seasoned saints. And they would sing the spirituals, and these folks were, they were old. They were, 70, 80, 90, old people who've been in church since they were 2 years old. And this was the theme in every corner that he went to, was always older people. It may have been a younger scholar that he may have talked to, but no young spiritual leaders, no young historians, if you will. And there was I don't even remember seeing any young people who were asked questions in the documentary. And it began to make me think that when we talk about longevity, the Black church is going to need some help to continue to thrive and continue to adjust and continue to grow. And that it's going to come from the group that we know now as millennials and Gen Z. Okay. But according to a survey, those groups are not attending church. Those groups are not attending church. According to a survey by Lifeway Research of Nashville, Tennessee, found that nearly 75% of Black young adults stopped attending church regularly for at least a year between the ages of 18 and 22. Okay, 75% of Black young adults stopped attending church for at least a year between the ages of 18 and 22. Those are your college years. We all did it. I understand. Right. And in comparison, 65% of white kids stopped going to church. But that's a lot of young people not going to church. But but the reasons why is what stands out. Because you'll say, well, young people don't go to church. You go out and you party, you don't make it to church. You kind of experiment during that time. I get it. Here are the reasons why, though. Made me think about this. The number one reason is I moved to college and stopped attending church. That's 43% among Black young adults. But the second reason why these young people, 18, 22 and a little older, stop attending church regularly is I didn't feel connected to the people in my church. I didn't feel connected to the people in my church. What does that say about a church where people don't feel connected to the church? People don't feel connected. They don't feel warm. They don't feel welcome to this place that should be a refuge for all, a place of solace, a place of embrace. And these 23% of young adults, which are the future of any type of body, especially a religious body, don't feel connected. Well, the judgmental people may say, well, they don't feel connected because they're not reading their Bible. And they're not reaching out to Christ. They're out there sinning and partying and so forth and so on. But these are folks giving their honest reasons. And so then I saw something over the weekend. A video was sent to me of a rapper, a video of a funeral, rather. It was a funeral. I don't know where it was, but this video went viral. And there was a funeral, and there was a rap concert during the funeral in this kind of small church. Maybe they can fit 200 people in this church, small town church. But if you look at the video, it's packed, and I'll show it for you in just a minute. The rapper's name West End Shawty. And I'm showing you this because I think this can help us understand this piece of why people don't feel connected to their church.
Here we go. What I did? I pray to God every day and speak the promise in. I load up the bank for real. I gotta help the hand to land. Tell the boy build the wind. And no fake and no pretend. I came down on the back street. I'm about to pulpit again. This ain't no ordinary worship. He already turned up for God. I came in with my shirt off. That's how I'm praising God. Let's go. My dad and David J. Dead. Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Give me God, hands up! God shower me with love. Got my spirit up, and my mind right. I'm a minister in the club. Hands up! Prayed up, really bit of logo. Love you, mama. Yeah! When I think about Jesus and what he done for me. When I think about Jesus. Come on, y'all. Let's go. I can just take.
Okay, so you saw that, you heard that. That's West End Shawty, rapper name. I had to look it up. His name is West End Shawty, and that was and I put that video up, and here are the comments that I heard from people. You shouldn't be standing on the pews in church. That's a no. How dare he disrespect the dead like that? These young people are out of line. Mama and Papa didn't play that back in the day. That was some of the comments. Then the other comments were, whatever brings souls to Christ. David danced, so why can't these young people dance? And if you look in that video, you saw the whole church was on their feet and happy and excited, and they loved the lyrics and the song that the guy was rapping. There was a lot of energy there, but you saw a lot of young people praising God. If you listen to the lyrics, so West End Shawty is a gospel rapper. Okay, and that was his mother's funeral in which he was performing. Right, a lot of people don't know this. He was performing at his mother's funeral, who was his biggest fan, and he used to be a street rapper, and he turned, because of his mother and other influences, and turned his rapping ability into something lifting up God. And so the question began to play on my mind. as excited as those young people were, a lot of those young people are not participating in church to the numbers that we talked about, because that type of music, that type of that form of lifting up God is frowned upon, is shunned upon, is talked down upon, looked down upon in today's Black church. And so my question is, can hip hop, can this type of hip hop, you already have gospel rap, but the embrace of hip hop save the Black church from possible extinction because of tradition? The Black church is so rigid on tradition and the way things used to be. Well, in the 50s and 60s, we did things this way, and we dressed this way, and we didn't rip our shirts off, and we didn't stand on pews. But in order for any great entity to continue and stay strong, you have to adapt or die. And so, can hip hop save the Black church by helping it get away from such rigid tradition? Another piece, I think, is that our current Black church has an elitist view. And when I say elitist, I'm not talking about finances. I'm not talking about, well, these people are so well off that they think they're better than people. Folk can get so full of God and full of being so holy and full of tradition, and can have $2 in their pocket, $5 in their pocket, and act in an elitist way. It's crazy. Poor people can act elite in the house of God. Isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy? And so when I talk about this elitist attitude, it is, well, I've been a part of the church now for 15 years and God saved my life. And you young people who come in taking your shirts off and your braids and your tattoos and your sign language and lingo should go check yourself at the door. And that is the attitude that makes sure that young people don't even walk through the door. And if they do, they go back out and you don't see them again. And so how can the Black church embrace hip hop to save itself from such an elitist view, and embrace hip hop and embrace what it is young people are craving and yearning in today's world? And quite frankly, I think hip hop can modernize worship in the Black church. But this is a personal preference. I hate praise dancers. I really do. I can't stand praise dancers. Don't do no miming in front of me. I don't need no praise dancers skipping around in a tutu or whatever case may be. It's just personal preference. I don't like it. Right? Give me a little quartet. Give me some hip hop. Give me some West End shawty. But our worship needs to be modernized. I'm good for a good deacon getting down on one knee and hitting the old spiritual hymn. I'm good for that. But in today's world, that ain't going to keep people coming back into the church. Modernize, understand what the new trends are, right? And open your arms up and your mindset to embrace this 18 to 22, 18 to 25 group of young professionals, of young tradesmen and women, of mothers and fathers who want to be in the church, who know that that's where their heart is, but they are big fans of hip hop, and that's what they're raised upon. And we have to meet people where they are, and we've got to embrace hip hop and the changes and the melodic rhythm and happiness that it brings. And I think it just may be able to save the Black church from extinction. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Can hip hop help save the Black church? Is the Black church too elitist? Is the Black church too rigid? How can we get young people back into the pews? Make sure you subscribe as well. Tell me what you think. This is the Damien Jones podcast.